This FaZe drama with Grace and FaZe Rain has been a roller coaster, okay? I don't even really know where to start. There's a 20-minute video, which for some reason FaZe Rain also reacted to. Like, his video's just in the corner. He maybe speaks like 5 times. It did not seem needed, but you know, here we are. And I watched the video, and I'm gonna cut it up in this video because it's very long. I just want to get my points across. I'm not trying to make anyone look better in any situation. I'll like the full video down below if you want to watch the full thing to get all of the perspective. It is still most of the video, okay? It's still a lot of the video. But here's the first thing.
I don't know. I'm at this point, I'm just trolling because it's like, what else can I do with that situation other than speak out about it? Like, I can't control anything legally. So all I can do is just keep talking about it and being public, and you kind of just got caught.
No,
unfortunately, this is
fair.
such bad timing for you.
Fair. Using me as a poster child for your hate sucks.
Well, it's not
when I
using
didn't
you
know.
as a poster child. I can see how you feel that way. I fully understand, but that's not my intentions at all. No matter who it was, whoever they decided to use as a token for that recruit, I would have said the same thing. Doesn't matter who it was.
Which is because
right?
there's no
Could've
face
been a guy,
for the
could've been a
people
girl,
that you
didn't-
hate. Because there's no face,
It's
there's
harder.
a logo.
Yeah.
Because there's no face, your fans see that and they see my face and they're like, okay, well, we'll direct all our hate that he has at her.
But this is my thing. They already knew what my position at FaZe was. I was exposing everything from numbers.
But they didn't have a
recruits.
face to hate.
For sure, but like, why would they even put you in that position? Why would they put you in a position knowing what would happen? You think they
I
thought
don't know,
there's
but-
not 1% chance that they thought it was gonna go well
But
for you,
it's
but they
still
did it
not
anyways.
deserved of me.
For sure, but that's why I said it's never about you. If you watch my original video, I said.
But I'm getting death threats and people have found my number.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know how they found my number.
That's something obviously I don't want, and I never directed hate towards you. The only reason I said what I said was because of the kitchen.
Like, why'd she even do that FaZe, bro? If you watch my original video, I did not direct hate towards her. That's so annoying. I was being so nice. Like, I don't get it.
Definitely some hate was encouraged, but not directly. FaZe Rain did not say, hey, go hate on Grace Von Deen, okay? That did not happen, but he did kind of imply it, okay? Acting like that's not the case is kind of absurd.
I was getting hate because of you before I even responded.
I mean, you can't necessarily say because of me. They would, if I didn't say anything, you would have got hate. You know that, right? If I didn't open my mouth, people would still disagree with the recruit. It's not really on me. I just kind of voiced everyone's opinion. Because people feel that way, and again, it's not against you. You don't have to feel like you aren't capable of certain things just because it isn't necessarily FaZe and what matches with our history. It's like not against you.
I think FaZe Rain is projecting pretty hard here because I really don't know how much of FaZe is still the OG remnants of FaZe. Like, how many people watch FaZe are still there from like 2012 or something. People move on, people grow up. People change, their interests change. Like on YouTube, you can see how many subs you gain and how many subs you've lost overall. It constantly cycles. And I highly doubt FaZe is still like the original core audience. Maybe some dudes on Twitter, but that's probably it. And I will say, I think your history is kind of irrelevant at this point because it's like, dude, if you go to like the FaZe Clan channel, it's not the same at all. Like, how is the history still relevant? I really don't understand the harping on the history point. Like, things change, things evolve, okay? People change. It just seems like stuck in like 2014. And again, she did get hate kind of because of FaZe Rain. If FaZe Rain said nothing about this, I'm pretty sure she would have probably gotten a very minimal amount of hate. It probably would have been much different. He's gonna disagree with that, okay, which is fair, but that's how I see it.
But that's why I was always confused with the choice because you didn't really have friends in FaZe. You had more friends outside of FaZe, 100 Thieves, people like that.
But instead
So I
of
was always
trying to
confused
understand
about
the
the decision.
recruit, you just hated on it immediately.
Well, because I know what the recruit is for. I know the deep meaning behind what they do. It's not for fun and for what they actually think is good for the brand.
They could have gone with people with more viewers,
It's not, but then they have more leverage over them. They need people that will listen to them more right now.
but I'm not listening. I'm doing my
well,
own
I mean,
thing.
you kind of still did what they wanted you to with the recruit and stuff like that. Like you still agreed to join and do all that. They wanted that.
Because of everything I wanted. In the meeting, I had meetings with multiple orgs, and in each meeting, I set out my game plan for what I want to do in this industry.
Yeah.
And if no one signed on and no one agreed to the things I wanted to do, then I wouldn't sign with an org. I can do that on my own. I have a platform.
But then, so why
FaZe-
did you do the choice if you knew all these things about it? Even when you brought up the stuff that obviously I had no part in the Muse stuff. I don't know why you attached me to that, but I feel it.
It's really weird to constantly disagree with Grace as to why she joined FaZe. I'm sure she shopped around. She's definitely in a position where she could do that. I really don't know why he's harping on this point so much when he has admitted himself he's not really involved in these meetings. Like, it seems like a really weird thing to harp on when you really don't know. And it's also like, why do you think she wouldn't know what she wants to do, where she wants to join? It doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand why you would disagree with her perspective on joining FaZe when it's only her perspective on joining FaZe. It doesn't make much sense to disagree with that, does it?
Why would you join knowing that as well? And why would you join knowing it's being exposed? And why would you agree to that knowing that that's not even what the community would want?
I think it's really weird to bring up what the community would want because FaZe Rain has been outside of like, you know, content creation and FaZe pretty much for a while. I think he's still been in FaZe, but in my mind, as someone who didn't closely follow FaZe, if you go to his channel, this dude disappeared. That's just evident right here. Like 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 5 months ago. Like, this dude disappeared. I really don't think FaZe Rain is as in touch with the community that he thinks he is. I really don't think he is. I would argue FaZe Rug is pretty in touch with the community because this dude actually is active and is actually doing things online.
And it's like, if it's just, you've never been talked with, joined as a FaZe member, you don't really have a connection with people. And again, it's not against you. It's like, I shouldn't be a fucking Laker right now. Like, I have no parts. Why would they make me a Laker? I have no parts with that. It's like, certain things, you just, I'm not even saying, I don't want to like put you down or say like, you're not worthy, this, that, of course, but it just was pulled too early, right? It was too early. They should have actually made sure you knew everybody, connected with everybody. But you think, I knew you were joining because I heard it. No one told me. All right, nobody would say, hey, you want to meet Grace? You want to?
Yeah,
never.
I asked if I could meet everyone. I would have loved
And they
to
never
do
had
that.
any of us to do that. No, it's like you act like I knew. They told me like this happened. Do you want me to? And I said no, never happened. They never hit you up anything. Entirely political corporate move, and that's what I'm saying.
I agree with this overall. I think FaZe should have pushed Grace a little bit more publicly before they invited her to join FaZe. It seemed kind of weird how they just suddenly did it. They moved too quickly with that. They really should have like gradually introduced her. I think you should do this with like any kind of organization kind of thing. You shouldn't just throw somebody in and be like, they're here now. It's just not good in general.
It's deeper than what you think it is, and that's what people get caught up in.
And
the
I
bullshit,
understand.
you know what I mean?
I'll speak for 1 minute. I understand that to you, I'm not, and to everyone, I'm not a normal FaZe recruit. I
Yeah.
don't make sense. And why would I join FaZe? Because of that. I think for me in my meetings with them and what I really went home, it was like a lot of big decision because FaZe is known for being, like I said, like it's the guys org. It's there have been like, I know that maybe things have upgraded and changed a bit, but since the beginning, you guys make pretty sexist comments, pretty degrading comments.
I have to pause it here because I have to say something. She's about to pull out a terrible tweet of mine from 2013. That was bad. And there's probably even worse tweets out there. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've deleted a lot of them. Whenever I've seen them, like, oh my God, I can't believe I tweeted that. You were there back in the community. We all tweeted really, really bad things. And I don't know if you guys want to demonize me for the tweet. It was me responding to Tensor and I said the R word and I said it about Emma Watson for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I did. I don't even know Emma Watson like that. He must have like loved Emma Watson. I just responded with some crazy troll shit. So I'm just saying, I'm being honest about what I tweeted because I don't want him to try to use it against me, make it seem like I'm something I'm not. I don't even know why I'm like over defending a 2013 tweet, but it's just, I know how these motherfuckers twist shit, bro. You're free to have any opinion you want over my 16-year-old tweet, but I do apologize for that. I did tweet some crazy shit.
And I will say, I really don't think it matters that FaZe Rain tweeted things in 2013. I really don't. I think the online shaming stuff for like old tweets and things is just really a bad idea for the most part. Some things, obviously, like, you know, if somebody does something really bad, but when you constantly harp on somebody for old things they've done, they're just never gonna change. And you can say, well, this should just be a better person. You can say that all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that there is social pressure to do things. And if you constantly tell people that they're bad people regardless, why are they gonna change?
When you responded to me and said, I wouldn't let you touch me on my drunkest night, I immediately blocked you.
Yeah.
I was like, I want nothing to do with this guy.
Yeah.
I just want to keep doing what my mission is in this industry, and if that means I have to leave FaZe because it's not working out, then that's it. But I'm going to keep doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then I sat on it more, and everyone was saying like, unblock him, and I was like, no, fuck you. I'm doing what is right by me. I'm always gonna do what's honest to me. But then I was sitting with it more, and my entire life in the gaming industry has been receiving comments like this. And the reporting system on these video games is bullshit. And even though it's trolls, even though it's always trolling, it doesn't feel good.
No, and I get
It
that,
feels
and
like
that's why I
shit.
told you I understand it was supposed to be your special day and like the way you could have felt. So I've been understanding all this from your point of view. Everything you've said, I'm like, bro, like, she's live, she sees all this hate, like, how's anybody gonna respond? So that's why, like, I took everything to with a grain of salt. I'm like, she's just emotionally responding.
But that's
It's
why
okay.
I unblocked you, because I was like, how many times am I going to get the chance in my life to have like a face-to-face with an internet troll that talks to me in a degrading
I mean,
way?
it's not an internet troll. Sure,
I never met you before, and
you can paint
you
it how
admit
you
you
want
trolled
to.
me
For
on
sure,
the
but you also
internet.
asked for it, did you not? Did you or not? Did you or did you not ask for it?
I didn't ask for sexism.
You asked
You can
for
troll.
whatever comments you said,
You
and I
can
didn't
troll.
honestly see it as sexism.
You wouldn't
and
have
I
said it
honestly,
to a guy.
I mean, sure, I would have said something else to a guy, but it's like it's different things. But okay, it's like if you want to
You
talk about
wouldn't
that,
have
that's a
said
whole
something
different conversation.
sexist to a guy. You can't.
I mean, yeah, because I'm a guy, so you have to be the opposite sex to say that. So it's like it's unfair.
But I'm not
mad
gonna
that I
come
can't.
after you that way.
Yeah, sure, but you obviously know I don't mean that.
I came
Cool,
after
can
you in a
take it
totally
however-
different wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay, this clip is weird because yes, what FaZe Rain said was sexist. The recent thing, not his past stuff. I don't care. It just was. You can't say it wasn't. I don't understand why he defends his point so hard when he could just own up to it and be like, yes, it was sexist. Because he's doing a whole bunch of mental gymnastics to be like, well, it wasn't actually. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's right in front of you. He even explains why it's a sexist comment, but like doesn't budge. Like, I don't understand. And I also want to say it's really weird that FaZe Rain admits he's a troll and he did an internet trolling thing, but then like tries to justify it in every which way. If you did something you think is wrong, just say you did it was wrong. Or if you don't think it was wrong at all, just say you didn't think it was wrong. I really thought this conversation was gonna be more productive, but like FaZe Rain didn't want to give on anything. He came into this conversation assuming Grace is wrong in every single regard pretty much. And then they also addressed the overdose thing.
And I don't care about that because I realize like, who cares? You didn't say anything bad. You said I'm proud of you. Like, who cares? Like, I'm not.
And I
tripping.
am. I also talked in the video about how my mom is
Yeah, I
into
heard
drugs.
that.
My dad is 28 years sober, and he hates your guts right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
But he also wanted me to tell you that if you ever want someone to talk to, he's available because he's been a sponsor for multiple people.
I
And
appreciate that. No, I appreciate that.
I'm glad that was addressed because the way Grace made the video initially with the climate that this conversation was in did not seem super friendly. Like, I don't know, if I had a situation like that and I was in arguments with people and they brought up a situation like that of my past, I would be pretty skeptical of their intentions. So I'm glad that was discussed.
You know, like, but it is like when you said it's home. Like, come on, is it really home to you?
the employees.
That's not. They're not FaZe though.
They're the
They
FaZe
come and
that
go
I know.
every week.
I never got to meet
But they
you.
come and go every week. But that's not FaZe. That's the fundamental problem that I'm trying to break down. Is that you don't join FaZe anymore. You sign with an agency, and it's wrong.
But they're the people
Like,
I work with. They're the people helping me create my content. They're the people who are helping
yeah,
me.
but that's not FaZe. That's like
make
signing to it
things.
for their resources, not for the team. So maybe that's what I'm saying. If they want to help other talent and like build them up, like why join
They
FaZe
wanted
though?
to rebrand and start by signing females.
But it needs to have a mesh with members so people know you're part of the FaZe ecosystem, right? That's the point of FaZe. It's some sort of like family,
I mean,
some
I
sort of
probably stream with
ecosystem.
Nate more than you do.
There's people that don't really have a connection to the FaZe ecosystem, and it's the truth. Like, there's no mesh, no brand, no memorable moments with
That's
those
no
people
disrespect, bro. It's just like it is what it is.
to the brand and what actually gives it life, right? The brand is a logo that represents us, me and my homies, and what we did coming up.
So are you
and
just
that's
not
what
going to
people
back
believe.
any recruit?
I'm gonna back every recruit that makes sense. Yeah, everyone that makes sense, I will back, and everyone that doesn't, I will never.
Okay, this opinion's probably gonna upset a couple people, but FaZe is no longer what it used to be. Ever since FaZe was sold to corporate interests, it is not the same thing. And I don't understand the obsession in trying to bring it back. I really don't. It has changed. It has moved on. You need to move with the times, adapt, or die. That is how the internet works. That is how content creation works. That is how Twitch streaming works. That's how it all works, okay? And I really, really don't think FaZe Rain should be saying that's not what FaZe is. Because this dude hasn't posted anything in years. Okay, he's posted like 6 videos. How is he supposed to know what FaZe is? And on top of that, correct me if I'm wrong, please. Didn't you and your homies sell it? Didn't you guys do that? Didn't you get the corporate guys in? And then also, let me bring this up because this really annoys me too. Is CSGO Wild a FaZe thing too? Is that an OG FaZe thing you want to bring back, huh? Because last time I checked, FaZe Wild was a kid gambling website, okay? And last time I checked too, pretty sure FaZe owned it. I really just don't understand this obsession of like nostalgia FaZe. It's Jover. It happened. Like, you can't just be stuck in the past forever. You have to change. Like, I don't get it.
I'm extremely logical, and I only base everything I do off logic, not off emotion. Maybe the trolling shit, but that was just like for YouTube. Who cares, right? I don't mean it, and you like again. That's why I'm here to express to you that I genuinely do not mean it. I do not mean any of the mean comments. I was just trolling. I have nothing against you. I don't know you. You seem like a very nice girl. I can feel your energy. You're a good human. Don't care. You're fine. But
okay, this clip is probably the biggest cope I have seen in a long time. FaZe Rain says he's extremely logical, right? If you were extremely logical, FaZe Rain, all of the way you've handled this would have been drastically different. You have played almost every card wrong. The stuff with Grace could have been handled much better. You could have been a lot more tactful with your words. And if you were extremely logical, I don't think you'd be handling the FaZe situation like this in general. Because first of all, again, didn't you guys sell it? And it's like, if every decision was logical too, I don't think you'd be going for FaZe like this. I don't think you'd be like upset, because clearly there's some nostalgia factor or some sense of pride and ownership in FaZe Clan. And if you were just logical, I don't think you'd be doing this to begin with. Like, it's such a cope. Like, I don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong. I think it's important to have logical thinking, but acting like you're infallible is absurd. And I think a better way to phrase this would be, I try to be logical when I can, because saying you are logical opens you up to a bunch of ridicule.
I mean, there was intention to hurt my feelings.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't. You asked for a barbecue, and I delivered. That's George Foreman.
And that's still hurting my feelings.
Yeah, I know. And I understand that, and that's why I apologize. So
But you just said that you knew that that was too far and that you should have.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, the video didn't hit. Whatever. I understand. That's why I apologize. I don't know what else you would.
Please, somebody do like an apology count of how many times I've apologized to her already for the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Please, including the one on Twitter too. Don't leave that one out.
Let me spell it out for you. When you apologize, the person you're apologizing to is looking for some kind of remorse and that you genuinely mean your apology. And FaZe Rain has not shown that at all. Because if you watch the clip, he apologizes and then immediately justifies the action. That's not what you do when you apologize to somebody. That's like apology 101. It's immediately devaluing the apology because you're immediately saying, well, it's not actually real, but I'm sorry anyways. It is like saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. It is not the same thing. Anyone who has been told, I'm sorry you feel that way, would agree it's not a real apology, okay? FaZe Rain might have apologized a lot, but at the same time, did he mean any of them? Because that's not the vibe I'm getting. The one on Twitter sounded more thoughtful, and that was like literally text. Like, that's bad. And this is the ending clip that you might have already seen because it kind of blew up.
I'm just being very logical. I understand how you feel, but you brought things up against me. How do you expect me to react?
I think you're a terrible person.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's pulling the acting shit out now. Because I said that
Pulling the acting shit out now?
How am I a terrible person for what?
Pulling the acting
How
shit
am I a
out
terrible
now.
person? Explain.
I don't owe you an explanation, actually.
And I owe you an explanation.
Macho, tell Vera that I'm not doing this video, and if they release anything, that I'm leaving, please.
Get fucking wrecked.
This clip is so frustrating to watch because FaZe Rain says, how am I a terrible person? That immediately gives a reason to be considered a terrible person. Like, oh, now you're pulling out the acting stuff when someone's having a genuine, like, emotional reaction. Like, yeah, that's gonna get you called a terrible person by people. It's gonna make people think you're a bad person. Like, I don't understand how that couldn't be computed. This whole situation has been a dumpster fire, and I will say, I think it's majority FaZe Rain's fault. I don't know what he was thinking with a lot of these decisions. Like, the leaking FaZe numbers, like, kind of makes sense to me, but, like, this whole situation with Grace doesn't at all. You kind of put her on blast because she was a female FaZe member that joined, and then obviously the way you put her on blast, people were gonna kind of give her shit for it. Like, you literally said she's only here because of Stranger Things. Of course people are gonna attach to that. And then FaZe Rain went to the offensive, acting like it wasn't the offensive. Grace responds in a little way, and then the end clip of get wrecked. Bro, she walked out crying. You're not the hero here. I don't understand. Like, maybe Grace is playing some 5D chess or something, but I really don't think so. And I don't know, maybe I'm missing some things here, but like, overall, FaZe Rain seems like the asshat here. And do I think FaZe Rain is an overall terrible person? Well, let's say he was heavily involved in CSGO Wild and they acted like they weren't. In that case, I will say yes. But off of this situation alone, I wouldn't call him a flat out terrible person, but I will say he was a terrible person to Grace. That definitely happened. But I don't know, this whole situation is a dumpster fire for seemingly no reason. Like, this could have been handled so much better, especially from a self-proclaimed logical thinker. But you know, it is how it is, I guess. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. Click the answer down, check out more of my content, and have a good one.